The ocean is really, really deep, deeper in fact than most of us realize. If you were to shave off all of the land from the tops of every continent and island in the world and fill up the ocean's deepest points with that land, then the entire Earth would be covered in an ocean 2 miles deep. 3/4 of our planet is already covered in water though, and it goes a lot deeper than just 2 miles. In fact, modern measurements put the average ocean depth at around 3,682 meters, about 2.3 miles. Let's start with a sense of scale. This dot right here is the size of an average human. This slightly larger dot is the size of an elephant. And this massive bar, that's the Mount Everest, the largest ship ever built, over 150,000 tons, longer than 3 football fields. With that in mind, let's go under the water and see what we find. The first milestone is at 40 meters below the surface, the maximum depth allowed for recreational scuba diving. A little further down, at 93 meters, lies the wreck of the RMS Lusitania, a 240-meter-long ship. That means it sank in water shallower than its length. If it were standing upright, its bow or stern would poke out of the water. Just slightly deeper, at 100 meters, diving becomes seriously dangerous. Decompression sickness, nitrogen narcosis. This is where bend sets in, and people can die if they're not careful. But that didn't stop Herbert Nitsch, who set a free diving world record at a staggering 214 meters, all on a single breath. A bit further down, at 332 meters, Ahmed Gabr set the deepest scuba dive record. He reached a depth deeper than the Empire State Building is tall. At 500 meters below the surface, we encounter the maximum dive depth of the blue whale, the largest animal ever to have lived. It's also approximately the limit of the U.S. Seawolf-class nuclear submarine, designed for stealth and deep-sea operations. At 535 meters, emperor penguins dive into the abyss. Imagine the pressure. It's like a full-grown polar bear standing on a quarter-sized patch of skin. Descending another 300 meters to 830 meters, you'll find yourself near the height of the Burj Khalifa, the tallest skyscraper in the world, submerged under miles of water. Once you hit 1,000 meters, you enter the midnight zone. No light penetrates this far. The pressure is akin to standing on the surface of Venus, enough to crush anything not built to survive it. Here lurks the giant squid, legendary but real, with eyes the size of dinner plates. At 1,280 meters, a leatherback sea turtle set its own record, beating the depths of most free divers. And at 1,128 meters, you'd hit the depth of the Grand Canyon if it were submerged. At 2,000 meters, the creatures get even stranger. Meet the black dragonfish, a bioluminescent predator with an unlit belly, a ghost of the deep you'd only see with your flashlight. At 2,250 meters, both the sperm whale and the terrifying colossal squid hunt in the same waters. Sperm whales often bear scars from battles with colossal squids. These squids can grow 14 meters long and weigh up to 750 kilograms, with scythe-like tentacles. Good luck surviving down there. Way further down, at 3,800 meters, rests the wreck of the RMS Titanic, shattered on the ocean floor in near pitch-black depths. At 4,000 meters, you enter the abyssal zone. Pressure maxes out at 11,000 psi. Strange creatures like anglerfish, fangtooths, and viperfish, with grotesque adaptations like bioluminescence and extendable jaws, thrive here. At 4,267 meters, you've reached the average depth of the ocean, but some places are deeper. At 4,791 meters lies the wreck of the W-2 battleship Bismarck. At 6,000 meters, you enter the Hadal Zone, named after the underworld Hades. Pressure crushes at 100 times surface levels, like an elephant on a postage stamp, or carrying the weight of 50 jumbo jets. Nothing can survive unprotected here, yet life does exist. Organisms adapt in ways science is only beginning to understand. At 6,500 meters, we reach the maximum depth of DSV Alvin, the submersible that explored the Titanic's wreckage and hydrothermal vents. At 8,948 meters, we're level with Mount Everest if you flipped it upside down. At 10,198 meters, James Cameron reached this depth in 2012 aboard Deep Sea Challenger, a feat unmatched in manned descent until then. But the deepest of all is the Challenger Deep. In 1960, Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard journeyed down this abyss in the Trieste, reaching 10,916 meters. It took 5 hours down, 20 minutes at the bottom. Then a crack in the window sent them back to the surface. Technological advances have refined measurements. The trench sits at about 10,994 meters, approximately 36,000 feet, 300 kilometers southwest of Guam. A modern submarine, limiting factor, reached it twice in 2019. Life thrives. Xenophyophores, single-celled giants. Amphipods, shrimp-like scavengers coated in internal aluminum sea cucumbers, drifting kilometers above the floor. Mariana snailfish, top predator at 8,000 meters. Microbial mats around hydrothermal vents. Ecosystems independent of sunlight. Even the deepest ocean has pollution. Plastic debris was found at Challenger Deep, confirmation that no part of the planet is untouched by human influence. Only 26% of the seafloor has been mapped in high resolution. Up to 95% remains uncharted. That's nearly 5 times more unknown territory than we've lighting in the night sky. Our oceans are the last great frontier on Earth. It may be only a matter of time before an even deeper part of Earth's great frontier is found. This is Facts on Trial, uncovering truths the planet tried to bury.